Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. Love isn't jealous. Love isn't boastful by any stretch of the imagination. The last thing love would ever be is proud. Love can't be rude. It's kind of funny to think about love. I mean, really, how could love be boastful? Love can't, boastful is kind of a weird way to try and describe an emotion. I don't see how love could be one boastful or modest one way or the other. Basically, love is a feeling. It's not it's not a person. Love is not a person. Love does not feel. Jealous or not, there's no. How would you be able to say whether or not an emotion was jealous? If I was gonna make the distinction, I probably would say it like love is not jealousy. The best thing to really try and get at the core of what love is just say what the emotions that love isn't, and like love's not jealousy, envy, happiness. Love isn't sadness either necessarily. Anger, love's not anger. If love was anger, they'd have just called it anger. Really, love doesn't talk behind your back because love doesn't have. Love is blind. Of course, it can't see because love doesn't have any eyes. Love doesn't really have the capacity to feel. It's kind of silly to think of an emotion. Feelings, it's more than emotions or things that you feel. You feel love, or you feel jealousy, you feel envy. Literally speaking, love.
My eyes start to hurt trying to see a smile. And we talk about fears making our story short. You are scared to get shot, your bravery goes for miles. And there's more miles to go as we walk the train tracks. I think we lost the rain back in the woods we just hiked. And the store signs can glow as you walk sidewalk cracks. I think we lost the town back trading street lamps for kites.
Welcome to Nursery, the podcast from Ohio's creative voice.
The meal costs $5. Meal costs $5. It's 2 plus 7 that you spend. There's a voice standing by me calling me.
So listeners, that was me and Jack. That was me and Jack trying to recall an old childhood song we did in the band Third Class.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
You're starting.
I like to sneak up on people. The premise of this podcast, as far as the music, where the music lies, is in a lot of stuff that me and my friends and family have created. So let me preface this interview, which I'm going to do with my younger brother Jack. He's my younger brother. We both got the youngest brother, Steve, who I interviewed on a previous episode. But let me just preface this with Third Class is the band that me and Jack play in. He also has this project, Juche. I'm going to play them all throughout this podcast, and you'll know which is which. So Third Class got some rock and pop to it. Juche's got the soundscape and the beat and the electronic. So with that being said, Jack, what the hell is it that you think about Ohio?
I think Ohio is okay.
Cool. What's your religion?
Atheism.
And what do you think when you hear the word nursery?
Our song, the Third Class song, Nursery.
Yes.
The thing you named the podcast after?
Yeah. And then what song would you listen to if you had a song on an island for the rest of your life when you were alone and you got fed and you could start and stop the song?
So I can listen to it whenever?
Yeah, it's not on repeat. But it's the only song you got other than ones you sing.
You know Toxic by Britney Spears?
I'm not familiar.
Well, it's pretty sick, bro. And
yeah, it sounds
came
like
out
it.
in like 2008, I believe, and it was...
If it's toxic, it would make you sick.
Do
What's that thing she does? Like, what? How's it go? You know the song.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't you know that you're toxic?
Yeah. There's song slipping under.
Yeah, what's the verse? Oh, well. Coming up, so you better get this part. Yeah, I get it. Start it.
Oh, shit, dude.
I'm coming out.
Wait, is
You better get this party. Let's get this party started.
that
Take
the
it
same song?
off. I got a feeling.
That tonight's gonna be. Yeah, dude, that song.
Okay, yeah, that's a good song to pick for an island. Okay, well,
But probably, if more seriously, I would take the third track off of the Andrew Bird's album, "Break It Yourself." It's called Dans Carib or Cariba.
did you say break it yourself?
Break it yourself.
Break it yourself, fool, like in Italian.
Break it yourself.
I'm gonna break it yourself. Break it yourself.
Yeah, I don't think anyone says that.
Andrew Bird.
Yeah, so but like it's the track called Dans Carib. It has a sweet violin solo, and I really like it because it is special to me.
Cool. So I went to the post office today to mail one of our vinyls.
Yeah.
We got an album out called Hymns from Some Small Town that you and I worked on with our friend Pappy.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, in case you didn't know. And what I did was I went to the post office and mailed it to somebody today who ordered it from
Sweet.
Third Class.
So only one person so far has ordered it?
Online, one.
One person.
In real life, we've sold like 10, 15 copies, but online, one.
And our release show is on the 6th.
February 6th.
Are you going to put this out before then?
No. But guys, everybody, just so you know.
The vinyl is available even if it's not at our show.
Yeah, regardless. Any shows, go to thirdclass.net, check out our shows, and go and grab a vinyl copy. They're all in these weird colors.
They're
like-
sweet.
They're teal, they're brown, they're red, they're pink, they're white, they're orange, they're
Purple.
purple. They're insane.
Crazy.
So
They all look beautiful. I would buy one just to hang on my wall.
any people that like the music that I sometimes use in this podcast, please go to thirdclass.net and listen to our music, buy some digital, buy some vinyl, buy a t-shirt. It's all there. My point was I was at the post office mailing the vinyl, and there was this lady, kind of a cool like stereotype, not in any bad way, but kind of a heavy-set black lady who was there. Her name was Florida, and there was a dude in front of me who...
Florida.
Yeah, which isn't that the cleverest thing? Like when that dude named himself that. Like for real. Like I really find that awesome. He's probably from Florida, even if he's not. It's awesome. I mean, dude, no one else did that before. That guy rules, just because of that. And some of his songs are okay, but like toxic. But I went to the post office and this lady was there. She had a name tag Florida. There was a dude who was just a skinny white dude who was kind of a Joe Schmo, I'm kind of cool type, whatever, and he saw our name tag, and I'm going to try to imitate this right, and I don't mean to be mean, both of them were very nice people, but my cynical side came out when I saw this, and then I was happy again, but he looked at her and he was like, Florida? Well, that's a sunny name. And she was like, and he was like, whoo. And she was like, oh, yeah, that's what they tell me. And he was like, and I was in the back of the line, like, kind of rolling my eyes, but kind of just, like, thinking it was fun, too. But that's kind of the heart of what this podcast is, in the sense of, like, these kind of people, oddball people live in Ohio that are a little bit too... They're like thinkers, too much for their own good, and they sit there and analyze situations like that. I knew immediately I was going to tell you that I saw that when I saw it.
Right.
And I saw that, and it just made me think, like, is it cynical that the first thing I did was roll my eyes, or is that pretty normal because most people in the line were rolling their eyes with me?
Well, yeah, it's definitely cynical, but it's normal.
Do you think a lot of people in the line with me were doing the same? Or do you think I was like a weirdo?
Probably. I mean, cynicism is pretty widespread.
Yeah, and it wasn't. Nobody got any negative, like nobody got any negative. Nobody got any guff from me. No, nobody was harmed in that cynicism.
Well,
but,
sure.
But I just wonder, like, is it wrong of me not to just be like, hey, sunny, Florida's sunny. Or is it wrong of him to just be like, hey, I'm funny?
I think it's wrong of you to still be talking about it.
Okay.
So you were in line rolling your eyes, and I'm here sitting in front of you, rolling my eyes.
Yeah. But like I tell you in particular, because if you and me, this is the only reason I bring it up, is it's you, me, Pep, you, Pep, me, Steve, me, Mindy, me, Ellen. Anyway, a lot of people we know. If we were in line, we'd at least give each other a look.
Oh, you'd have eye contact and be like, this is happening.
Yeah, and no one would say it's happening because it sucks. No one would be like, they suck, but we'd definitely
like, hey,
laugh to each other.
No, it's like, oh, we need to listen to this guy talk to this lady about her name, which is a state, and how it's sunny there, instead of her giving me my fucking stamps.
Which brings us to the next thing. This is sponsored by Stamps.com. Don't go to the post office. No, I'm just kidding. It's not. It's not sponsored by Stamps.com. I'm just kidding.
But Stamps.com.
Don't you find those? Yes. But don't you find you listen to podcasts enough? You hear that when people say that's sponsored by that? Do you ever hear?
Yeah.
Don't you find that a little? I mean, I must not be mean because the money's still going to people providing it. But they're always like, "Don't you dare go to the post office, ever." Put them out of their jobs. You know, like, don't you dare go in the bank. Use the ATM type commercial, which is okay. But do you ever find those a little bit, like, forthcoming? Like, they're like, don't ever go to the post office again because it's so horrible. Don't you hate the post office?
Yeah, well, like, so like, I started to try and listen to podcasts, the erotica podcasts that are, like, dirty stories and stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, this would be fun to listen to at work because I'm supposed to be working, but secretly I'm getting a boner. Mm-hmm. And so I downloaded some of them, and I realized that all of them, there were like 5 different ones, all of them are essentially just vehicles for adamandeve.com, which is an erotica site which is advertised on like Risk and stuff like that. Essentially, they're just a vehicle for their advertisements, which bracket each of the very short stories with like just ads for Adam and Eve and promo codes and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But what's funny is that it's like 6 different podcasts that are all the same one, but with different names and stuff. And they're essentially just separate vehicles for advertisements for adamandeve.com. Which, if you go to using the promo code Nursery, you'll get 50% off, plus a free erotic video, and we'll send you a free, whatever secret dildo.
Again, I know that you guys are probably with us, but that's all fake. That's all fake. Like, don't.
I mean, you can go to adamandeve.com and get dildos and stuff, but we don't have a promo code. But you can find one.
Hey, but you know what? For real, guys. I want to make this is just for fun for me, and if you get something out of it, that's what I'm doing it for. But if you want, email me at clograve@gmail.com. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast, we'll give you a big time shout out on the podcast and advertise your product. Please do it. Then you can help us, and we can put out some more, like use some production money and put out some more videos and have some more travel, or get a domain, and we could just use your money if you'd like, but you don't have to. I'm not doing that for that reason. That's just a bonus to me. But go to Clograve, CHLOE, not Chloe, but Chloe. I'm gonna say it like Chloe.
Dude, speaking of Chloe,
CHLOE grave @gmail. Go on. Speaking of Chloe.
Speaking of Chloe, our album that's called Chloe's Epitaph is Chloe.
Yeah.
2 days ago was Lee's birthday, and he had posted Lee, who's in the room here now.
Yeah, you guys get that? You guys get
this Lee?
Okay, great.
2 days ago was Lee's birthday, and
me.
And there was some stupid post on Facebook where he wished himself happy birthday before anyone else could at midnight, and then there were like 50 posts after that where people were like, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and then we made some.
I made a joke about a 5th of Jack. Yeah. I used Jack's name.
Yeah, me, and that's how
That's
how I got pulled into the whole thing. I didn't actually comment or see it originally. It was just that Lee had mentioned my name in the thing.
Our friend Mindy said like, "I wish you happy birthday 5th," and I was like, and somebody was like, "Better 5th than 6th," and I was like, "Well, a 5th of Mindy is almost as good as a 5th of Jack, my brother."
Lee thinks that just because my name's Jack that like
works.
enables him to make puns off of Jack. Oh, speaking of so when I went into the bathroom at B-Dubs, or not B-Dubs, Quaker Steak, we just had some wings.
And by the way, guys, today Jack's kind of treating me for my birthday. It's like we're going to get wings and beer and Mountain Dew, and then we're going to a spa day. Right
Oh
after.
yeah, we're gonna get massages and manicures and pedicures after this.
Yeah, because we're idiots. But go on. You were in the bathroom at Quaker.
Oh, so I walked in and that song, "Hit the Road." No, not that song. I hate that song. It was "Get Back, Jack, Do It." Is that how it goes? That song?
Something like that. Or it's been a long time.
Something back. Well, it was playing in there, so it wasn't. Anyway, I mean, you heard it like 20 minutes ago. But,
I didn't.
Yeah.
I
I was in the bathroom and there was a guy already peeing at the stall, and he was singing like at a regular audible volume, like regularly along with the song.
Did you like pee from far away from the stall when he said it? Like you moved back when he told you to move back?
Well,
back.
no, but like he was no. I mean, he was singing it while I walked in, and I was just like, it was funny because like, well, one, I'm like the only other guy in a bathroom while this guy's singing. That's weird. But also, he's saying my name.
That is weird. That's not
It's
something
like
you.
usually when I'm in a bathroom and some guy is saying my name, some stranger, it's like for a different reason.
Did you? Were you like, that's my name?
No.
I didn't think you would. Nobody would have.
Yeah, then he just like left and didn't wash his hands. But whoever that guy was,
Dude, why is there always that guy at a wings place?
I don't
They're
know.
hired.
I
They're
mean,
hired and
like
paid.
fine, take a piss and don't wash your hands, but don't eat at a wings place and not wash your hands. What are you doing?
Dude, plus there's signs on the wall that say wash your hands if you've handled spicy sauce. Wash your hands. Just wash your hands. But dude, there is a dude at every bar in the whole entire world that when you're in there peeing or washing your hands, they walk to the door after they pee, make eye contact with you through the mirror, as if to say,
I'm not gonna wash my hands.
And then they leave. That has happened to me hundreds of times at different shows we played, at different places we've eaten.
Yeah,
Across the United States. They just make eye contact with me. I don't have to wash my hands if I don't want to. It's America. And they,
yeah, right. I used to do that in high school. I used to.
You make the eye contact?
No. I used to say to people that I wasn't going to wash my hands. I was like, "Hey, can we just pretend we both washed our hands?" And like left the bathroom.
oh, that's pretty cool.
Like
I mean,
every time I was just like, "You gonna wash your hands?" Because I'm not. And then like I walked out of the bathroom. But
that's pretty ballsy. That sounds more like a 80-year-old talking than an 18-year-old. That's pretty ballsy that you were like, are you gonna, I mean, I guess.
I think I
probably
just
gotta
thought it was a
laugh.
funny thing to say to people, and I did it probably way too often.
So you didn't wash your hands.
Yeah, a
For
lot.
kind of a joke. yeah.
Man, when I was 16, I just had penis all over these
Hands.
hands.
Well, it's funny because we might share something in common with, not obviously washing our hands is something that we just do now more often, but that's grown up probably, I can assume. But you know what you and
Someone
Steve
made a
have in
good
common-
argument to me once, though, about washing hands. I used to say, I bet I should wash my dick before I touch it with my hands. Because
Yeah.
Because what am I doing? You know, oh, that was dirty. I don't want to. I better wash my hands. I just touched my penis. It's like my penis has been in my pants all day. I showered, then put on underwear. It's fucking clean as hell.
Dude, guys, my
I should be
penis was
washing
in my pants all day. Just so you know, I'd like to tell you that.
I wasn't touching doorknobs and my cell phone with my penis.
Hey guys, my penis was in my pants all day. Also, my penis was in a guitar case for a second, but it didn't touch like the grimy strings or anything, so it's all good.
that was
it was
it.
actually in a wallet just briefly.
I
And then it was in a tin.
I touched it on the table. That was it.
I kept it in a mint tin for most of the day, and then I had it in my pants the rest of the day. So.
But like I was always like, yeah, I should wash my dick before.
Really big mint tin.
Altoids minis.
Yeah. Tic Tacs.
But so I always thought, I should wash my dick instead of wash my hands. 'Cause my hands are dirtier.
So that's what you do, like in the bathroom after you get wings? Before you.
So get back, Jack.
And then you
Do
just
it
move really
again.
back really far and then pee in the sink from by the door. And you're like, hey,
But
I'm
then-
not going to wash my hands if you're not going to wash your hands.
Someone made the argument to me that sanitation isn't for you, it's for other people. And I was like, yeah, okay. Because, like, I think, yeah, oh, well, kids should get dirty and you should like eat mud and get all kinds of bacteria so that your like immune system is strong for your whole life and stuff like that. And I always think like maybe if I'm using all of those antibacterial things or those like soaps and stuff, is that bad? Am I weakening my own like resistance to immunity?
Well,
But
I like
then
that
I
argument.
think like it's like, well, not everybody is washing, or I mean, not everybody has the same strength of immune system. Maybe something that, I could just eat a big turd burger and somebody else like that I shake hands with is just gonna get some disease or something like that.
I agree with that. I agree with that, and especially because you said like burger of any sort, especially turd. When you wash after eating, to me it's just 100% more important than washing before, unfortunately, because you're washing for yourself if you wash before, and you're washing for others if you wash after.
Yeah.
Ellen kind of gives me a hard time and makes fun of me. Steve's like this too, and you might be like this too. Where after the wings, I just bolt to the bathroom and like take a bath in the sink, and like. It's because, like, I don't want to, like, touch her face with, like, sauce on my hand or, like, give someone a high five or do anything with,
Yeah.
like,
it's
it is
like-
for other people.
It's for other people.
And it
'cause
definitely
it's
has to
about-
do with the food rather than the bacteria you would touch the food with. If everyone keeps doing that and it pays it forward, it's all,
Yeah.
then their bacteria is gone after the meal, after they were just touching their own cells, eating. Then it's their
like,
penis.
Yeah, touching yourself and eating. Yeah, I do that.
You're like, I'm not going to wash my penis if you're going to wash your penis. We good?
Deal?
You just said that to somebody, not in the bathroom. And she just said it. But some of the
Just thought like, I'm never gonna wash this dick again.
yeah, that's not yours. But people in a post office, when I mentioned that,
Yeah.
the way that you and me would look at each other when the guy was like, "That's a sunny name," would be in a way that we loved that it was said seriously. Number one. Number two, we loved that someone thought it was funny. Number three, we thought it was funny, kind of genuinely. Number four, they thought it was funny in a different way we did. And that leads me to when I try to maybe like pinpoint your sense of humor. Say if I show you like a bull skit that you like, or if I show you a YouTube video that I think you'll like, or a podcast I think you'll like, that formula crops up in my head a lot. Like I'm like, it doesn't have to be comedy, but if it is comedy, I'm usually like, I'm looking for something a little bit ironic here, but something that the people are actually committed to and actually doing and actually making a real joke with. Like,
Yeah, right.
and I just wanted to, I'm not really plugging for anybody's benefit, but that podcast, which I think has cracked the charts somewhere on the iTunes thing, it's called The Worst Idea of All Time podcast. They just watched the movie Grown Ups 2 every day for a year and podcast immediately after every Monday or something. And they always have this weird spiral and do stuff. But would you say that's an accurate portrayal of like what you think is funny and what you don't? As far as like what is it? I guess I can't put you on the spot and say, give me a joke you think is the funniest joke in the world. But what is it that you really like enjoy as far as humor goes? Being somebody who does like skit.com with us and does skits and does it yourself.
Yeah, I think that absurdity is the thing that's funniest to me. And that can be like in any realm, essentially. Taking it to the jumping off point where it's just like, yeah, pushing till something is potentially offensive, but also when like it's just a matter of unexpected absurdity. I think one of the things like John Martin, who's one of the other forces behind Juche, along with Andrew Banks, and who I went to college with, John. Him and me share this sense of humor, which really has to do with just absurdity. Like, we think it's really funny to come up with fake stories about how things work. Like that shit that you and me were doing about Toxic, and how we were saying all of that Black Eyed Peas song and some other... what song is that?
Yeah. Toxicity / Pink / we ended on Black Eyed Peas.
Toxic, not Toxicity.
Toxicity by System of a Down. Sorry.
Oh, God. I get to hear that at work. I won't talk about that just in case Ryan listens to the podcast, but dude. Chill with the 90s metal, it sucks. Anyway, point is, things that are just absurd like that we were just like going off on like a tangent and pretending that all of that was what it really was. I don't know if people caught that or thought it was funny when we did it, but like one time me and him invented this whole story about how ants, insects work. Mm-hmm. Like that ants are like crawling around, and it was just really stupid. We just made it up one day when we were at like college with nothing to do, sitting outside smoking cigarettes. We called it armchair, what do we call it? Ecology or armchair biology, where, speculative biology. So like, you know how like philosophers can sit around and sort of just like think about the way that the mind works, which is actually what John went to school for, like philosophy on mind. You can sit there and sort of think about like, are there literal representations of our thoughts in our minds? Is there strings of letters and numbers like DNA or something like that? Or like what is a thought like in your brain? What does it look like? How does it code? Does it like function like a computer or whatever? So anyway, philosophers can sit around and sort of speculate about that kind of thing, and like there are lots of areas of study where you can sort of philosophize in that way. But biology isn't really one of those. It's a science of observation. It's about knowing what's really happening and testing the physical universe or whatever, and But so what we did was just pretend that we were figuring out how ants work, and we decided that they had little like windmills on each of their legs, which were very sensitive things, and when they moved their legs, the wind resistance actually turned the windmill on their knee, on their little ant knee, and then that they're actually perpetual motion machines, which were given a push by their mother when they were born. I don't even fucking know how ants are born.
That's hilarious. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't even really know how an ant gets to be born, but an ant. So imagine a little baby ant that hasn't moved yet or something, and has these little windmills on its knees, and then gets a nudge by its parent ant, and that is enough to get them going for the rest of their lives.
As if they're a wind-up car that doesn't stop after they get pulled back.
Yeah, exactly. They're just little wind-up things that are perpetual motion machines that just keep going forever. And then, they die, and I guess they just push their... But it was really stupid, and I shouldn't have talked about it for so long.
No, you know what? I'm glad you talked about the process at which you did the ants rather than why it's funny, because it's very fruitless to overanalyze comedy too much. It's funny to find out what your sense of humor is and share that with the listeners in case they get something out of it, but to go into what you think and why all the time is funny, that just ruins it. So I'm glad you told me just like the ant thing, because the whole point of absurd comedy is acting like it's matter of fact when you say it.
Exactly. And that was the whole point of the thing. We were just like, and this is the way it is, and this is how it is. And we were like, and you know about how ants are like this. And it was essentially just us agreeing with every ridiculous thing we could come up with.
And there's lots of really famous comedy talents that do the same thing in different regards. So like in my head, using the word ironic is fine, and using the word like that is good, but I really don't draw a line. Will Ferrell shares the same backyard as you and John, or like a weird documentary on, like fake documentary online, Spinal Tap, more obscure than that, shares in my head. And it's not a sweeping generalization. It's that Will Ferrell acts like he knows what he's doing when he doesn't. That's his cool character. And it's different maybe,
and that's
but
funny.
but I like it because I think that it's a universal, like to talk about comedy to the extent you did is universal. A lot of people dislike that, like, wait a minute, people don't usually do that. Like that's awesome. And like,
but essentially I just like
John's,
people pretending to be serious when obviously what they're saying is ridiculous.
But committing to anything is what makes it funny, I believe. Those guys actually watched that movie for that podcast. Those people really acted, you and John really acted like scientists for a while to be fun. Like with each other, and like
and it was just for the comedy of it,
right?
To each of us, that we just kept straight faces and pretended that we knew what we were talking about when we were making it.
Right,
dude. One time, here's another good example of something that I thought was hilarious that I did, and other people would be like, "You're a fucking sociopath or something for this." But like, one time, me and John Palo, who runs Bacon Avenue Productions, which
Yeah.
is another cool sort of
And we've worked with them.
sketch. Yeah, we've done
Yeah.
a couple of sketches with him, and he's got some cool equipment, and it's really cool. And I think someday we'll make a movie. Anyway, me and him went to the Mexican restaurant in East Palestine, and we were sitting at the bar, probably just us. Oh, so what ended up happening? We went there with his boss from AT&T, and I don't remember what her name was, or if she was really his boss, or if it was really AT&T. But we played this game the whole time because we were bored. And the drunker I got, the funnier it got. I convinced her that I was an actor, and not an extras actor, not like an actor out for his own career, but an extras actor that had also worked with Kanye West as a backup dancer. So I was a backup dancer and an extras actor that did like commercials and stuff like I was the guy that like was on a teeth whitening commercial. Like that's the stuff. It was a pretty easy sell to her because it sounded like, yeah, okay.
And plus, we
what's that
know
like?
people who have similar real stories like that.
Right.
Like, we know people who are like, I was in this commercial doing voiceover work, and I actually got to work with Neil Patrick Harris. You know, it's common enough.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was a soft sell at first because I was just like telling her really underwhelming things about like my career as a nobody in acting, and how pissed off I got at my agent when he booked this thing with Kanye West. And like, it got really out of hand in terms of like the stuff that I was saying, but I kept a straight face the whole time, and I kept her attention the whole time. And I took prompts from John Palo. This is a different John than I was talking about.
Sure.
with Juche.
Oh, yeah.
But he kept giving me prompts, like he'd be like, tell her why you hate Whitney Houston. And apparently Whitney Houston is her favorite like singer. So I was like,
What a
oh
funny
yeah.
thing if it was really coming up like it was real to that person you're talking to. Like, you're like, hey, by the way, tell him why you hate Whitney Houston. You told me 1,000,000 times.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know anything about Whitney Houston. But like, so I was just like, yeah, I mean, it's not that I have a problem with her career ultimately, except that she is a public figure, and the same way people get pissed off at football players and basketball players who are like cheating on their wives or doing drugs or doing all this crazy stuff in the public eye. I think that she has a responsibility to her fans and young women ultimately to not be a fucking crackhead.
And then you're like, plus, let's face it, her career is dead. I say again, her career. Oh god, Jack's leave. Oh, here you go. Nice. I thought you were getting up to leave forever.
But yeah, so what? She did die, right? From like crack.
She did die, yeah.
Or something. She OD'd in a bathtub.
She died, yeah. I can't remember how, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just like pretending I didn't. I like her fine. She's great.
Yeah,
If
she
was
actually
still
is cool.
Alive, I would.
Dance with
I'd
somebody.
bone
I
her.
want to dance with
I'd bang her.
somebody. That's a good song.
I'd do her.
I wanna dance with somebody.
If she weren't dead.
I want to do it with somebody.
Is that?
That's not her. No, it is her. It really is.
Anyway,
But
so I
actually-
don't actually have a problem with Whitney Houston, but my sense of humor is that I think it's funny to pretend that I have a problem with Whitney Houston.
See, within that context, that probably was funny to at least John, if not you.
Oh, it was hilarious.
And probably a little
Dude,
bit
I
to the
told
other
her
person.
I
if they
told her
picked
that I
up.
had 4 kids. I told her all of this. I told her I was married. I told her all of these absurd things. But
The
the
point
Kanye
being that
West
it was
thing.
funny because you just didn't. Like,
Right.
You told her kind of normal things.
What was funny to me about this was just that it was an hour and a half of lies.
Yeah.
Like, I literally
anything.
was just getting drunker and drunker and saying the most ridiculous thing. But none of it was true. And I know that.
You're like,
makes me
I
an
actually have
asshole.
blonde hair and I dye it brown. That's not true.
It was like that.
That's so funny.
so,
She
like,
thinks that I'm a blonde.
It was almost as though I couldn't even control my mouth from saying all of these things that were untrue, and then I was trying to justify all of them as it happened. So I was like, oh yeah, no, I was a backup dancer for Kanye West. And John brings up a video, a Kanye West video on his phone and says, oh yeah, this is the one he's in, check this out. Like, and I'm like, oh, did you see that one guy in the cave at the back, that one whose face you didn't see? That was me. right at the beginning. That was all that happened. I was
Right.
like, I was in that video with him, and then I was at 3 performances that he did in Cleveland and Akron. I actually even invented a new venue.
I actually even invented him, so it's kind of a thing. I actually invented Kanye West too, so I should have.
Yeah, it was actually this conversation that like manifested into the world. So you're welcome.
So yeah. Dude, did you use any? I know people really like puns. Did you use any of those on her? Were you like, that's my sense of Houston, and then you're like, Kanye, pull up that video from YouTube. Kanye, do that?
Yeah, no, I didn't do any of that.
Because it really would have flown. It really would have flown.
It was more just lying.
So when you were within the video with Kanye, what was it like?
Yes. So I was like, yeah, no, Kanye like turned out to really be kind of an asshole because I tried to talk to him and he didn't even.
He's not nice.
He
in
didn't even
person.
look at me. No, yeah, I don't. You like he thinks he's better than everybody or something.
Jeez.
It's like. It was stupid because I didn't even get any exposure as an actor for this stuff. Like I thought, oh great, I'll be on stage with Kanye. That's going to be on TV and stuff.
On your resume, it should look good, right?
Well, yeah, but like, I wanted it to be like, my face wasn't shown in the video, and then my face wasn't shown on stage, so it's like not something you could look up or find verify.
They
in
not
any way.
believe you?
Well, I mean, like, it's not. It just like my face wasn't out.
So you
there,
can't
my
show
image.
them like a little
I can't be
video.
like,
What do people call that? Your little video resume thing, where
Yeah.
your little. I don't know showbiz terms, but you know,
Right.
your feed, your buzz, your what the hell, whatever.
I don't know what's called.
Sorry, but so he's not that nice in person, and you didn't get any real cred as far as your face goes in the video.
Yeah, well, so like as a backup dancer, the thing that we were doing, it was for the New Slave album, right, or whatever it's called, and like had a black burlap sack over my head with eyes cut out of it, and I was like dragging chains around by my hands on stage. It was just like me and 3 other guys that were like completely covered, like you couldn't tell who I was.
So that ruined your career in the sense of that could go higher.
Well, no, I was just really pissed at my agent for booking that kind of thing because like I'm an actor, not a backup dancer, and I'm definitely not a backup dancer if you're not going to show my face doing it because it's not going to get me any more work if I'm just some random guy shaking some chains around behind Kanye West while he says some shit about slavery.
You know what's weird is that like you could have been on this show. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Epic Fail Show or something. It's the dude that was in. He was in like Friday After Next, and he was in a ton. You've seen him everywhere. He's just like bald, really super muscular black dude. Probably in some Adam Sandler movies too. And he hosted this thing me and Peppy watched last night. It was just called like Epic Fails Ever, just America's Funniest Home Injuries type.
Oh yeah.
And there's all these people that are apparently contestants / Andy Richters to his Conan, that are oftentimes like, whoa, and they're like, I vote for this one, I vote for this one, this one is the most epic, and he's like, my choice is yours, you won, and like it's not really clear if there's points or if it's a game or if they're co-hosts and stuff. And like when you look at them, I'm never anyone to like to deprecate on their career. Like I'm always like, are those guys that like somebody was like, I've got a gig for you, an acting gig, and then they show up there and watch YouTube videos on TV because there's a live audience there too. And it's like, you know, there's shows like that all over. I'm not really, like, I'm kind of square to, like, TV. I don't know what, all the cool things that are happening.
But so, yeah, it's kind of like that, except it's not like that.
But even worse because you don't show your face.
But also because, like, it didn't happen.
What? I'm not following you. I'm not following you. Dude, so aside from comedy, if you and John have a chemistry with being silly, how does that transfer into juche?
John Paolo or John Martin?
John Martin from Juche, not John Paolo, who's not in Juche.
Right. John Martin. What was the question?
How does your chemistry work with Juche? If it works so well with humor,
Yeah.
how does it work with music?
I think that we both have like we have a pretty similar. We have a pretty similar idea of what's funny. Mostly farts. But we also have a pretty similar idea of like what's good music, and I think we have just a similar idea of what we want to do. And it was really him originally that had sort of started using this sampling software to like put together electronic digital stuff in a really interesting way that's more analog sampling. Ultimately, though, like, oh god, dude,
Sorry.
ultimately, like, our manifesto is kind of to make music that doesn't sound like it was played with instruments, and
Yes.
using computers to do it. So I mean, we make electronic music that doesn't sound like electronic music. It doesn't sound like any music. It sounds like, I don't know. I mean, you know, like, I would think of stuff like Panda Bear and like
Animal Collective.
Animal Collective to think of like that kind of sampling where you're,
Britney Spears.
yeah. Dude, you gotta move to another room or something.
Sorry.
It smells like a fucking bar toilet in here.
I won't wash mine if you don't wash it. But okay, so you guys want to? For listeners, if you're not music savvy, you don't got to be a geek to understand this. Them making music that doesn't sound necessarily like it's instruments. The simple idea behind that, which not a lot of people do, and to their credit, it's a really good idea. Is this: if you're using a fake drum set through like a keyboard sound or a computer sound, you put distortion, you put an echo, you put something on it that masks it and makes it into another world where you know it's keeping a rhythm, but you don't say that's a kick and a snare all the time. You say it's
Right, 'cause it's not like-
sound, it's just a bang.
And don't get me wrong, I'll use the violin sound and I'll use
Sure.
the piano and stuff like that.
But
at
the
the
point
same
is
time,
to
like,
take it out of the element.
some of the stuff that we use are samples from like number stations that were like, and number stations are like secret radio stations. Some of them are broadcast from Russia or North Korea, all kind of China, and different places, and like where these like secret radio stations that are broadcasting frequencies that like specific people have. And I think it's spies that are doing all this stuff. It's all coded information from all this stuff. It's like people reading off a series of numbers. And that means something. I don't know what it means. Maybe it corresponds to some sheet of paper. No one really knows what number station is. It's like a really neat thing to look up on the computer. And that's kind of like where our whole thing comes from. Like, our aesthetic is very, like, broadcast radio waves, like, soundscape of like, yeah, but essentially like technologies for getting audio into the world. It's kind of funny because like John's parents, like John's mom is like, she will say like, oh yeah, that's not really music. And we're like, what are you talking about? Like, this is music. And I think like, I mean, some of it's like just pop music really well disguised, you know? But a lot of times we like to create the music around like the organic sample.
See what kind of environment this is as crisply and clearly as you can.
Having your foot in two different musical worlds, is it refreshing from each other? Is it too much music for you? You're in a band Third Class with me, and we couldn't be more different as far as the approach goes, and both approaches I love. But we're like building from an Ohio area. We're doing like pop songs. We're doing like you're writing these bass riffs. You're writing these drum things, and harmonies and lyrics. What do you say to having your foot in two different worlds musically, as far as promotion, genre, all things?
I think ultimately the way that I approach music is similar no matter what I'm trying to do.
So it's not that different to you.
Well, I mean, like, you know how, like, you'll write something, then I'm a better backup. I mean, I haven't written the main part of many of our songs, but I have written the lyrics that you've used, though I didn't write the melody.
Cold rain inside my shoe. Cold rain inside my heart. There's nothing I could do that wouldn't give you a start.
Think of, like, famous in Our Minds off of our new album. That song you wrote, and me and Peppy weren't crazy about it, and I pretty much rewrote it while we were playing. But I wouldn't have ever written that song.
I wanna be 14 again, emerge from blank houses. I want the teenage scene again. Let's purge the banks and meds. I walk the nowhere neighborhoods, stone alleys over creeks. I walk alone across the woods, candy on liquor streets.
Yeah, you and Peppy played such a fantastic role in like me bringing you a song that was like okay and tweaking it quite a bit and turning it into a really, really like a song that we all like actually love.
Yeah.
And I like that you say that that's your role in either or, because your role is, oftentimes if I shorthand your role in the band to people, it's backbone.
Yeah.
Because you oftentimes will be like,
Support.
this is the rhythm, I'm gonna hold it down, will you please do this over it? Here's my suggestion. And that's what I like, is like,
And that's
the
how-
style, you're the backbone and I'm the lead.
Yeah.
And so like if Juche is you supporting John, Andrew,
And myself.
you, of course you.
I mean, a lot of it is being able to build on something that's already there.
With
That's the
libraries
whole
of
point.
things.
Like, and then when I can, because it's more like making a painting than doing a dance.
Right.
It's not a dance. We do live music. Third Class does live music. We write music that we can play live. We do that. Juche is the opposite.
Yes.
We write music we can't play live. We write music that's for you to experience as that recording.
Yes.
It's a painting. It's not dancing.
That's nice. I like that analogy. Lastly, you do skits with me online on a comedy site called bullskit.com in a troupe called Bullskit Productions. Did you know you did that?
Yeah.
People who are listening, please go to bullskit.com, look up the video Love. It's definitely within our little world, Jack's like thing he's famous in his mind for, where he's like,
That's my sense of humor, I think.
it's so good. All he does is basically read from some Corinthians and put his spin on it. And
I
it's
just
fantastic.
make fun of Corinthians 2, or I think it's Corinthians.
Love is not bait, but
Yeah.
don't wash. Love doesn't wash its penis.
Love is blind.
Love doesn't wash its hands and make eye contact with you in the mirror at a bar. Love is both
Kind.
Love is
not
Louisiana
boastful.
liquor.
Love
is garlic mixed with butter. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jack does a really good job, and he's the only, basically, the only dude in this skit called Love by Bullskit Production. Please go check it out. If there's one thing you can take away from his sense of humor, it can be a jumping off point in that skit. So comedy, I know your take on comedy. I asked you that earlier, so that's all good. So can you say our little outro tagline? It's, look, Mom, we're on a podcast. And then say it to Mom.
Mom?
Yeah, our mom. Say it like you're saying it to our mom, Karen.
KB, I'm on a podcast.
Put some more mustard.
Look, Ma, I'm on a podcast.
Look, Mom, we're on a podcast.
Hey, Ma.
No, Mom, tonight.
You want me to take out the garbage or what?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I brought in all the water bottles.
And he brought the water bottles in, but tonight, can Mom let Jack make the crust for the pizza, and then you can put the topping on. Okay? I like it when you do that. I love the way you put the Parmesan cheese on the other cheese on the sauce. Perfect distribution. But sometimes you make the crust too thick. And don't give it biscuit crust. Don't give me biscuit crust. Let Jack use the rolling pin and make the crust really thin so the flavor has nowhere to hide. Okay? Will you do that?
Yeah.
You make the crust?
Yeah, got it.
Cool. Thanks. Any last thing you want to say to anybody?
One.
What?
No, I'm good.
What'd you say, one?
I just said, I don't know. I just chose something to say. And it was a number. And it was the first number that occurred to me. I don't know. Lee, think of a number.
First number that occurs to me. The first number that occurs to me. One. Okay, thanks, man. Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy your burrito. Sponsored by the Orange Avocado Alternative Bakery, specializing in vegan, gluten-free treats made with organic and raw materials.